So before we get started, I know a lot about hormones because I've had to balance mine very many times in my life. I have been pregnant 5 times in the last 4 years, had some stuff going on before that. And I think about every woman I know, when I tell them what I do, they say, oh, so can you help with like hormones? So needless to say, I know it's a very needed topic, and I know all of us women want to know how to do what to do to balance our hormones so our mood and our energy and everything can be the best it can all throughout the month. Number one is toxicities. So the environmental toxicities, the food toxicities, mental toxicities we'll talk about later, but environmental toxicities are messing up your hormones way more than we know. I'm talking about from your personal care products, your makeup, your hair, your cleaning products, and just walking around in the world. Unfortunately, these days, our bodies are getting overflooded with environmental toxins, which is then burdening our liver, so our liver can't process everything, and then it gets backed up, which is then not allowing all of our hormones to be recycled and created in balance. So what's the solution to that? Of course, which you already know, personal care products, cleaning products, everything you are in control of, make it natural, because that's going to save your hormones. But something that you might not be doing is for your hormones. Whenever I notice my hormones are off, I know that's a sign that I need some extra detoxification. So every day I'm doing something that's supporting one of my detoxification pathways. And the number one way I do that is with my infrared sauna. You can't see it, it's behind you. My filming setup is very unprofessional right now. I'm sorry, I noticed that. So infrared sauna, I think, is one of the best things I got to balance my hormones, because every day I'm able just to kind of sweat out and release all of the toxins that have been building up, and that in turn has helped balance my hormones. If you want to know anything about the infrared sauna I use, I did a whole video on that, so go check that out. But there's other ways to support your detoxification pathways as well. So even if that means just taking something for liver support, so just taking any kind of supplements or eating foods that are specific to help liver detoxification, or open your lymph detoxification, dry brushing, rebounding, all the other things I've talked about. There's a lot of ways to help your detoxification pathways. Make sure you're regular, and then we'll talk about that later too. But if you are having any kind of hormonal issues, that's a little sign that your body's just asking for help detoxifying things from it. All right, problem number 2 that is messing up your hormones is deficiency. So you have your toxicities, now you have your deficiencies, meaning your body's not getting the nutrients it needs, the building blocks it needs to actually create your hormones and neurotransmitters in a balanced way. Now you might be nutrient deficient because you have gut problems, and even though you're eating all this good stuff, you might not be absorbing your nutrients, which we can work on. The solution to that, when I notice my hormones are off, you nourish your body like crazy so it can make the hormones it needs for you. And of course that means every meal you need a protein, a fiber, and a healthy fat. So it's kind of the trifecta: protein, fiber, fat, and a complex carb, sweet potatoes, whatever. Just make sure every meal is balanced, because then you'll have a little bit of everything that you need to make sure your hormones are getting what it needs, your blood sugar stable, and so you're giving it the building blocks it needs to do what it already knows what to do. And my top 3 supplements for hormonal balance: 1, omega-3s, easy, cod liver oil, a high dose fish oil. Number 2, ocean minerals, because those have been game changers for my hormones, because they contain all of the nutrients and the building blocks it needs for cellular rejuvenation and for life. It's the exact same ratio as the nutrients in your blood, so it's very bioavailable, very absorbable for your body. We are just so lacking in minerals in general, and our body is craving them, so taking ocean minerals every day is a game changer for your hormones. And there's a lot of other things you can take. I have a whole protocol in my full script for hormones if you want to check that out, but these are just my top 3. My number 3 would be sun fiber, because also hormones are very, very dependent on regular digestion, because if you're not eliminating regularly, same thing with the toxicity, things are building up, and so they're not being able to recycle and process, and they get backed up, which then causes a cascade of hormonal imbalances. One second. All right, the third thing is I actually think the biggest epidemic that's happening with our hormones right now, and that is I don't even know how you say it. It's like constant inputs, too many inputs for your body, okay? Especially our female bodies. Okay, here's the thing, okay? I understand that our hormones are very sensitive, right? That's why, like, I've noticed I've had to rebalance my hormones many times in my life, because it's not like you do it once, you're set for the rest of your life. It's kind of like a daily thing to maintain your hormones, and they can get knocked off very, very easily. The good news is that they can get balanced very, very easily too. And the number one thing that's knocking off our hormones is just these constant inputs and being in front of a screen so much, because that's directly impacting our autonomic nervous system, which your autonomic nervous system perceives all those checks, and it puts it in a fight or flight mode. And so if you're in a fight or flight mode, your body's not concerned at all about making hormones correctly. Those constant checks and just being around that technology and everything for that long, our bodies physically were not designed for that. And so it's actually creating serious imbalances in your hormones. So the solution to that you should very, very much try if you're having any hormonal problems, is try to fast from food and all screens. I mean, I'm talking texting, everything, for 12 hours every day. So say you stop at 7 o'clock at night and you don't eat or you don't look at screens again until at least 7 o'clock the next morning. If you do that one step, you will see crazy changes in your body. Okay, the fourth thing that will seriously balance your hormones, that again, not many people are talking about, is, okay, the block is that we are natural environment deficient. Okay, so our bodies are actually created to need to be outside. We get a lot of things that that help balance all the systems in our body through being outside. So obviously the answer to that is you need to be outside every day in some way. Number one, grounding. If you know that I think grounding is one of the number one things you can do for a healthy body. And it's not just me. I can go look, down below, I'll link to my blog post on grounding to show the documentary, science, everything about that, how it's the number one thing that will get rid of inflammation in your body, put your body in a parasympathetic state. So we have to be grounding every day so that our hormones can be in a natural flow. Number two, the light. Our hormones are heavily, heavily, heavily impacted by light. A huge thing that one of my friends who's a practitioner who specifically focuses on adrenal and sleep and hormonal health says the number one thing you can do for your hormones is when you wake up, get outside and get your eyes exposed to sunlight, because that's going to start this hormonal cascade and rhythm how it's supposed to go. And so you're kind of helping it kickstart it from the day. And then at night, if you can watch the sunset, again, those rays, those specific wavelengths of light help stimulate other hormones. So it helps, you're basically getting back to the natural rhythm of how we're supposed to be. And then again, you cut off screens at 7, you're good. If you're in any kind of cleanish nature, you're breathing that in. That's actually better for you than probiotics. It's better for your gut than probiotics are, because I love how Dr. Zach Bush says, breathe your biome. What you're breathing in and even taking in through your feet if you're barefoot is actually what's going to be creating a healthy microbiome more than anything you could actually take. All right, and now the fifth block that's seriously messing up your hormones is just daily thought patterns and emotional, like stuck emotions. All right, the fifth block that's seriously blocking your hormones to be able to be in balance is thoughts and emotions. Now, we may think that our hormones control our thoughts and emotions and can make us, not so happy, tired, depressed. Okay, that is true. However, we can also intentionally generate certain thoughts and emotions to get our hormones back on track. That's how our bodies work. Every thought and an emotion, every thought you think and emotion you feel sets off an actual chemical cascade in your body. So one of the other doctors that I like to work with, she says, like, are you actually deficient in serotonin or dopamine? Or are you deficient in the thoughts that it takes to actually create those things? So it's really interesting to think about. Is it a lack of serotonin and dopamine that's causing you to not feel and think very well? Or are you not thinking and feeling very well that's causing the lack of serotonin and dopamine? Anyways, the more you can intentionally generate pleasure, joy, love, gratitude, and you actually feel that emotion in your body, that is actually creating hormones and neurotransmitters that put every system in your body back into balance. Do whatever you need to do to generate those positive, high energy emotions. That's actually going to balance your hormones. On the flip side, the more you have fear, anxiety, depression, all of that, that's doing the exact opposite thing. It's creating the exact opposite reactions that you want in your body. So it's really funny. Even if it's not a hormonal problem, whatever problem you are dealing with, a lot of times I'll just tell people, okay, like for a week or two, like find something every day that makes you laugh really hard. Just that makes you laugh. Have one moment of really deep just connection with somebody, and that where you feel joy and love. And then you do things like go for a walk, because those high energy, those emotions put every other system in your body in balance. Okay, so the next time you notice your hormones are crazy out of whack, you're being crazy, I get it. But the good news is you can do things that put them back into balance just as easy as they get off balance. So remember, toxicities, do something to support your detoxification pathways every day. Number 2, address any deficiencies you have, especially getting in the sun. So make sure you're getting enough vitamin D, omega-3s, fiber, and minerals, specifically for hormones. Number 3, you be so conscious and aware of how much you're in front of a screen and how much you're checking. I can't describe how much that is a main contributor to hormones. So try fasting from food and all screens for at least 12 hours. And then get outside in some way every day. I know it's hard if it's cold. It's not right now. But so to get grounding, so in the morning, get out, get the sun in your eyes first thing in the morning, get your feet on the ground, and breathe in that nature. And number 5, pay super close attention to your daily thoughts and emotions, and do things to intentionally, whatever you got to do, generate the joy, pleasure, love, gratitude, so that your body has what it needs to make the hormones and neurotransmitters and every other system in your body correctly. There's a full post on this below, and thank you for being here today, and I will see you next time.